Welcome back, dear viewers, and you're still watching the Breakfast Show. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about President Fattah al-Sisi's current visit to Doha. The visit started yesterday, and it is expected to last for 2 days. And we'll try to know more about the importance of this visit and the topics that are expected to be tackled. Today, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Hassan Waguih, Professor of Political Science and Economics at Al-Azhar University. Good morning, Dr. Hassan.
Good morning to you.
So, sir, as I've just mentioned, that President Fattah al-Sisi is paying a 2-day visit to Doha. Can you tell us more about the importance of this visit?
Yeah, actually, this visit comes to bolster and strengthen the relationship between the two countries, Qatar and Egypt. And the president's visit is a kind of upgrading the level of diplomatic and economic and political ties between Egypt and Qatar, and a response to a visit paid by His Excellency the Prince of Qatar in June.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, sir, to what extent this visit contribute to achieving Arab unity, security and stability in the region in a way that serves Arab interests and position in various forums and increases their solidarity to face challenges and dangers?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to this point that you have already raised, it is important to strengthen and bolster the Arab system at large. So Qatar is an important country, and it can play an important role. This is why the president, the Egyptian leadership is keen to strengthen the relationship on all levels. It's not only with Qatar, but with main important Arab countries, so as we can have an Arab system, because we are being exposed to a severe crisis, international crisis, as we know. And no one country can stand by itself to deal with the repercussions and consequences of such a global crisis.
Yes. Sir, how important is this visit and its impact on the volume of investments between the two countries, especially since many economic trade and investments agreements are expected to be signed?
Yes, I think both countries need to cooperate in the sectors that are being addressed by the two leaders. We have the health sector, which is extremely important, and there are some good, maybe giant projects to be established between Egypt and Qatar to upgrade the level of health service. Also, in the agriculture level, there are some agreements also and memos of understanding signed before, and this has to be enhanced. And in the area of green, and when it comes to climate, yes, there are so many things to be conducted regarding this file. And also, politically speaking, we have to have some sort of unification of Arab stances regarding the so many thorny and critical files, like the Lebanon file, Libya file, and other important files in the area.
Yes, sir, also how do you view this visit and its impact, especially since it comes before the start of the Arab Summit in Algeria next November, as well as the work of the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York?
Yes, I think that we are waiting for two important events. One about the Arab League and the Arab Summit, and the other one about the UN. And I think these two institutions must be strengthened, must be rebuilt in a way that they could play a far more stronger role when it comes to establishing peace, stability, and cooperation, and avoid the repercussion of, yes, the whole world is witnessing, as I said, unbelievable global culture that needs the unification on the level of the world when it comes to the United Nations, and on the Arab system when it comes to the Arab world.
Also, Tamim visits Egypt, to visit Egypt in June, and it was his first visit to Egypt. So, how do you see the importance of the visit by Qatar's Emir to Egypt?
Actually, the importance lies in one thing, and very important one. Every fair-minded thinker in the Arab world would really like to see the Arab relations are cemented, strengthened, and bolstered for the sake of everyone. It's a win-win approach. And this is very important, especially after a row or arrest that took place. So there are lessons from that the arrest, and we don't want to get back into that kind of track. I think the track for cooperation and win-win and for strengthening our relations with all Arab countries and Arab countries strengthen all its relation with Egypt. I think this is very important and very, especially in one thing, the international global crisis that the whole world is suffering from these days prove that globalization is a beast, is a fire. But after what happened in this global crisis, the lesson for all countries is to go for regionalism. Yeah, you have to be very careful about whom do you have a border with, so as cooperation could be enhanced in that direction. So I think also when it comes to thinking strategically about the big problem, I think regionalism is very important. From here, you can try to provide a vision for the visits and for bolstering relationship between Arab countries, Egypt and Qatar, Egypt and other Arab countries.
Also, sir, the visit regulates economic relations between Cairo and Doha. Many commercial agreements, memorandum of understanding are expected to be signed, the most important of which are agreements regulating the employment of Egyptian workers in 1974, agreement on trade exchange, economic and technical cooperation and investment promotion, cooperation in the agreement in the field of scientific research, media and culture, and another one in the field of youth and sports. How do you see the importance of all these agreements?
Actually, all these agreements are very important, especially when it is being addressed to the youth, because youth we consider youth as the future. So I think a great deal of interest and a great deal of intention to get youth involved in all these cooperative activities, and especially when it comes to, to scientific research. By the way, Egypt and Qatar are very keen to establish connection with the most important universities all over the world. In Egypt, we had several agreements with many international high-level universities, and Qatar also has very good record when it comes to establishing branches for Harvard, Georgetown University, and other big names when it comes to education. So I think getting this educational and the university cooperation is very important. What is more important these days is media. Media can, as one has said already, the whole world is nothing but a small TV that impacts and establish wars or establish peace. So I think one of the most important things is to rectify and to find a united strategy when it comes to media, so as we can, because in media there are many wars being launched through the media all over the world, and we have unbelievable new cyber culture. When it comes to this cyber culture, it needs a lot of cooperation. It needs to think out of the box. I think cooperation in the media is extremely important also among the other fields of cooperation.
Also, how important is the consensus between Egypt and Qatar in promoting bilateral cooperation in the field of energy, especially that now we can face that you can see that there is an energy crisis in different countries.
Yes, I think Qatar has good potentialities for the entire Arab world and the world when it comes to energy. It is known for being energy-oriented country when it comes to its economy. And also Egypt is seeking ways to enhance its energy sector. And Egypt has already achieved good results when it comes to energy. And the most important thing and the greatest challenge for the entire world now is clean energy. So when you are talking about energy, it's something, but when you are talking about clean energy, this means a great deal of work, a great deal of cooperation, a great deal of research, a great deal of implementation on the ground. So as you know, what is happening in the climate, we have seen rivers are being dried in Europe. We have seen terrible tornadoes and all these kind of climate repercussions that really the entire world is suffering from. So I think there is a very important avenue to face this unprecedented climate challenge, and one track is clean energy. This is the most important towards these days when it comes to confrontation of climate repercussions, clean energy. And I think Egypt and Qatar are on the track of doing a great job when it comes to cooperation in that field.
Sir, in your opinion, what are the sectors here in Egypt that can attract Qatari investors?
Actually, all fields are open for good investments in Egypt when it comes to tourism sector, health sector, and as we said, media sector, and of course, scientific and educational sector.
Yes.
It is very important that the researchers in the two countries can go for cooperative activities that would enhance thinking about how to enhance the benefits for the two countries.
Yes, sir, finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Hassan Waguih, Professor of Political Science and Economics at Al-Azhar University. Thank you for being with us. And as I've just mentioned, that President Fattah al-Sisi is visiting Qatar for the first time for a 2-day official visit, and he met Qatari Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani, and President al-Sisi discussed with Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani at the Amiri Diwan in the bilateral relations between the two countries, ways to enhance cooperation in various fields, as well as this visit establishes a new stage and an important station in the course of bilateral relations between Doha and Cairo, and upgrading these relations. This goes to the level of fruitful partnership after Egyptian-Qatari relations witnessed active contacts and visits from the two sides towards strengthening them for the benefit of the two countries. Dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back with our second segment, so stay tuned.